Hi, Mindful Partners, and welcome to Mindful with Mishi, the podcast. I told you last week that we're going to get back to talking with men as we prepare for a fight for life on November 23, 2024, because as Ola and I have said constantly, that we believe that the conversations around men's mental health are the most
Hello?
neglected. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So today I have on the show a very his CV is quite impressive, and I'm glad to see he's also from Ondo. So we Ondo people, we are very, like that. So I have would you not agree on how to say his name? Seun Moses, whether it's Aiyenuro or Aiyenuro. All right. We're just two Ondo people who don't know how to speak our dialect. How are you, Seun?
I'm very well to meet you.
It's good to
Yeah,
have you. You were going to say something?
we definitely have a common ground.
Oh yes, we do, and that's so beautiful. Yes, and especially because as an Ondo girl, I kind of know how well, maybe it's peculiar to me, but I also know how men view women or the girl child in the Ondo mythology. So yeah, so this makes it really interesting for us to be here. How are you doing today? You can't say I'm fine. You cannot say I'm fine. So how are you doing today?
Okay, so I think I'll say I'm fulfilled.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I'm fulfilled because early this morning I had something with my team and we're just going through the town hall, being able to pause and reflect on the achievement that we've had in the past couple of weeks makes my day fulfilling. So I would say that I'm fulfilled and really, really happy. Yeah.
uh,
I'm often not happy because of the life of an entrepreneur.
I know what you mean. All right, so Sean, the question I was asking is that it was that since you're just coming from a town hall meeting, the question about BlueroomCare would have been the last. But since you're just coming from the town hall meeting, what inspired you to start this initiative?
Oh, that's a good question. So, just before the pandemic, um, I had a suicidal episode. So I just came back from Austria, and then I was still in uni, right? Um, I missed two exams intentionally so
Mm,
that I could really explore opportunities. So when I go back, I was really, really, I was really depressed, but I didn't know that was called depression.
mm,
I felt that to be depressed, you had to show really extreme signs. So I was also in touch with someone. I call her a coach, right? And she asked questions that really blew my mind. And I was like, okay. You're like, Moses, I think you might be depressed. I was like, no, I'm not mad. I'm okay. You can say I'm okay, right? Like, nah, that's you're like you can be depressed and also look okay. It's not written on the face. So that was a turning point for me, and I built up that momentum. I did a survey within my
oh Lord, Sean, I lost you again. Can you hear me?
85%
Hello?
when I looked at the reasons why it's something that we know happens, but you dare not speak about it
Mm,
in settings. Secondly, it's just expensive. I mean, like I'm a student, like how can I afford 100K for a session when
mm.
then I was receiving I think $18,000. a month.
Your own session was
As
beautiful. Your own sessions were, yeah, at the time, if my sessions were 100K, I swear I'll be doing better. I would have done better.
really,
Mhm. But go ahead. Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
So so they were 100K plus. I was also not in Lagos, so that just discouraged me from seeking help. Thirdly, it was like not accessible, right? So I believe that was the motivating factor to really building something. But then again, there was really no template. Like there was really nobody doing it in Nigeria. Like it was very foreign to people. So I like not like your bank apps that okay, like if you want to build a mobile app for Zenith Bank, you can just go and copy what Sterling Bank has done. So there is no template. So we had to innovate, make mistakes, do try and error, and I mean, like for the past 2 years, yeah, I'm proud to say that we've helped more than 2,000 people improve their lives, and these 2,000 people have not gone to therapy for once. That for once, I believe that we are still scratching the surface because when you look at it, 24 people would suffer from a mental health condition every year, and if you do the math, that's approximately a billion people. So our mission is to reduce the costs, make therapy more fun, exciting, and also very, very much accessible, which is why we use insurance as a form of reducing the cost of care. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. You know that if we allow ourselves, we create from pain.
Mhm.
If we allow ourselves, we can walk through the pain and go to the other side of it. We can see the gift the pain gives. Right. So, I really wanted to, have a personal, but this BlueroomCare is blowing my mind because I'm sure, what year did you start BlueroomCare?
Yeah, okay. BlueroomCare started late 2020.
Okay.
So that was when the BlueroomCare started, late 2020. And I got the name from a radio show on Cool FM. So back in the days, 2014 thereabout, I was an addict of Cool FM, and there was always this night show. They call it Cool FM. So they call it Blue Room.
Okay.
So that I'm sure that I would really use this name someday, but I was just not sure. So 10 years after, like just had a light bulb. Yeah, this is it. So we actually started as Blue Room Africa, but we just didn't want to limit it to Africa, right? Because we began to see interest from India, particularly. Like a lot of people in India were seeking
Help.
trying to access. Yeah. So just okay. Rather than saying, and health also is very, like it's very, very like we don't want to sound like a hospital or something. So
Yeah.
That was very, very calm and very easy to remember. So that's where the idea
came
of
from.
came.
All right. So how does Blue Room operate?
BlueroomCare operates by we have a mobile app, correct? So we have a mobile app. When you download the app, you fill in a questionnaire. What brings you therapy? How are you feeling? Are you sleeping well? You have thoughts of suicide? Anyway, we actually don't accept suicidal patients because we don't have a So we have created questions that really help us select and match therapists that best suits your needs. So after that, you can match with the therapist, and you can either pay out of pocket or pay via insurance. Most of our clients are from insurance, so we partner with AXA, Reliance, Leadway, Tangerine. What this means is that enrollees of this insurance don't have to pay 1 naira for therapy, because we've already done the work to collaborate with them. And after that, you can schedule a live session. So just like what we're having right now,
Mm.
like this is really how it works. You can have sessions via text, voice, and video.
Oh, I envy people who need talk therapy right now, like that they have Blue Room Care. Back when I needed therapy, I definitely started from the neuropsychiatric hospital Yaba. I was diagnosed back in 2015 with bipolar affective disorder. Yeah. And I was having psychotic
Okay.
episodes and all of that. And, going to Yaba basically because of the stigma, not because there's not anything wrong with Yaba, but because of the stigma, was
Mm-hmm.
quite daunting. But I did go to Yaba, to be honest. And my first aid care came from there, the first 3 years. Okay, for the first 3 years, I did um I did get help from neuropsychiatric hospital Yaba, and later, of
Mm-hmm.
course, went to private practice where I have the team from Health and Minds Foundation holding my hands all through. So I'm glad, and and I was saying to people, or rather, I was saying at the book launch, because when I launched my book last year, that we need to make it more accessible. We need to demystify the narratives around mental health
Yeah.
conditions and questions. And I'm so grateful that we have this, because sometimes it's just talk therapy some people need, and not necessarily being diagnosed
Yeah.
with me and all that. So,
Yeah.
reflecting on your own journey, Sean, what personal experiences have shaped your perspective on mental health? Especially, your friend saying that, when you say to your friend, "I'm not mad," and she looking at you and saying, you don't have to look a certain way to look depressed. So, can we
Mm-hmm.
reflect on your journey for a bit?
Mm-hmm. All
Alicia, are you there?
all right.
Hello?
So speaking from a personal standpoint, so I think what people don't understand is that yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I think personally, what I've realized from over almost 3 years of using BlueroomCare is that like mental health is basically how we are able to manage day-to-day stressors because there's stress everywhere. So how I manage to cope with these daily challenges of life, that's basically what mental health is. That's the global defined um, meaning of mental health. So a lot of people, when they hear mental health, what occurs to them is mental illness, and that's where the issue of Yaba lips comes in. So it's always mental illness, the extreme part of mental health. But they often forget that mental health exists on a spectrum.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
An example, when you have when you have, let's say, malaria. So I assume that malaria too also exists on a spectrum. You can be everybody. I believe every Nigerian has presence of malaria in their blood. Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't see everybody get sick at the same time. That's the same thing with mental health. Everybody has mental health. However, not everybody would have mental illness. It is
Mm-hmm.
when you're able to proactively manage all those factors that contribute to mental health, such as your environment. It can be biological. It can be situational, like finances, divorce, relationship, trauma, abuse, um, anything that can really change that can really push someone extreme. So those are really what leads to or even substance abuse. Like those are really what pushes people to mental illnesses, and that's why you end up seeing people on the streets. So I often tell people that those people that you see on the streets, it is a result of the failure of the health system. That's not a spiritual attack. There were not just support systems to help them manage their mental health.
Mm.
So I believe that once, if there were provision of proactive care, you would have less people on the streets. You'd even have less people in the psychiatric hospitals. So just to tie this up, what I've learned is that mental health happens to everybody. Everyone has mental health, but it's even best of us has, suffer from
Yeah.
mental health challenges.
Yeah. We can't be on the mountain all the time.
Oh,
Yeah, no, we can't. Muji and Kenneth who say to me, what protecting your mental health means that you understand that there is a high, understand that there is a low, and you're found an
mhm.
equilibrium, a middle place where you are safe and you're trying to protect
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So it what that's major, and I think that's a major narrative that you hear mental health, and the first thing that comes to people's mind is mental ill health. But you don't know what we don't know, what we're trying to hopefully with BlueroomCare, with the mindful intimacy is to tell people that look, every single day anxiety is there, we have stress there. How do you manage it? How do you relate with that? What do you have
Yeah.
inside of you? What tools do you have to relate to that it doesn't tilt you towards mental ill health? And I think if you can get this, these conversations going, like you said, we have less people thinking that they have to go to the nearest psychiatric hospital, Yaba, or looking down on any when anybody says mental health. Okay, so
Mhm.
did in your before we get into the conversation of how men's mental health is almost neglected. Okay, in your own journey, because you did say that the what you had a suicidal episode, in your own journey towards wholeness, were there what were the things that help you? What was support like? What was community like for you?
So what really helped me was having a good support system, a very strong support system. So it will surprise you that I did not actually seek therapy at that time, but I just had someone that acknowledged how I was feeling, which is really what therapy is all about. It's like
Mhm.
making people feel right and listen that you are not in this alone. You're not alone in this rather. So that ultimately helped me bounce back better.
Okay.
So and that still helps him to now. So like people always say that, oh, Moses, you're very, very busy, but like that's not true because I know that if I should isolate myself, I would suffer, right? I would suffer.
Mm, mm. Gotcha. Gotcha. Hello? Sean, are you there?
Like that were supporting you from the past, but that's really not how it works. You need to continually be intentional about your friendships. You need to continue to invest in that curiosity, which is ultimately what builds mental health.
Mm.
So um, that's a tool, having check-ins with your friend. Hey, how you doing? What have you been up to? Let's hop on a call, right? Because life can be a lot. Like life can be a lot, and having such people, having such access. Just look at the data.
Mhm.
We are more lonely than ever before.
Yeah.
More lonely. The U.S. Surgeon General declared an epidemic. Do you know what that means? It
Of
means
loneliness. Mm. Mm.
on loneliness, an epidemic of loneliness. Now, the data shows that it's it's as worse. Loneliness is as worse as someone smoking a cigarette.
Mm.
That's really how loneliness is
Mm.
because it's invisible, and that's why we often downplay the importance of having that support system. So I believe that if we can really solve that crisis of loneliness, and I really want people to hear this, that more people doesn't mean more quality, right? If you have
Mm.
1,000 on Instagram, they are not your friends. I'm sorry. You need friends that are actively involved in your life. So it could be childhood, it could be at work, at school, anywhere. And you need to always continually invest in that. You need to be vulnerable. So like when I hear a lot of people, a lot of young people, they don't want to be vulnerable because probably like they have been hurt or they have been betrayed in the past. So they just don't want to have expectations. But building friendship is like someone coming to your car. So you won't just allow anybody that wants to sell, anybody that comes to your car in traffic to just talk to you. You you would wind out the glass a little bit. Okay, how can I help you? Or even last myself. Okay, yes, yeah, like how can I? So it's that process. So friendships are like a journey, right? You just don't make friends instantly and you call them your friends. No, there has to be that journey, and you need to know what you need from this because not every friendship has a future, and so that's another mistake that we young people make is that because we've known them for 10 years, then we believe that every friendship should have a future. So we begin to force them. No, it's okay to celebrate friendships that are no longer
Serving.
that serve exactly because when you're not growing, it means you're either declining. So there needs to be that sense of growth because some friends are quite exhausting. Like they're always, you call them, it's always like you call them and you're exhausted. So like that's like that. You need like I have people like that if I just see their text, it's always negativity, and you want to ensure that you don't have any because all of this affects you. Like you might think it doesn't affect you, but it all builds up to your mental health. Having a lot of negative people or the countries are no the countries are, but let's speak positivity into our lives. The countries have bring in positive energy, right? Let's have a lot of positivity. Like let's light really really
Each other's lights.
exactly. But when you have negative people in your space, they are all needy. Oh, I need to move. I need to honestly, you, you just end up having a poor mental health, right? So
I got you.
yes, yeah.
So, in your experience, how do you think that societal expectations around masculinity impacts on men's mental health?
This this question would require a 2 hours answer, but I'll try to just.
I know, right? But yeah, make it as short as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to make it very short. So we raise boys to say that, oh, boys don't cry, man up. Boys are not supposed to have feelings, which is all very wrong because everybody has feelings, everyone has emotions. So I believe how especially African men or African boys. So even myself, like I'm not also not guilty of that. So we were raised to believe that we're not supposed to express ourselves, and that's why when a man checks out from either a marriage, like they just go silent because like they don't have that vocabulary to express how they feel. And yeah, when you sit, like most people that actually come for therapy at BlueroomCare, 80% of them are women. Why? Because we raise women to always be expressive. Women talk, women, which is great. But men, how we communicate disapproval is silence, or we use lethal means, and that's why you see the case of suicide. More people are coming for therapy, but more men are dying for suicide. So why is that? Why is there that disparity? Like when you think about why is there disparity? More women are open about their mental health, but men are usually guarded. No, that I can't be vulnerable with my friends. Like they think I'm weak. Like how can I go for therapy? Like therapy for women. And when life gets very, very tough and they don't just know how to express it, because God created us and created channels for a purpose. Our mouth is a channel. We need to talk things out. We're not built to the silence. Now we've shaped men to
It's silent.
hold back
Mm-hmm.
exactly, to grow in silence, and the only channel they have is to use lethal means, by use arms, and that's why you see this abuse in relationships, in marriages, or even suicide. So I think we should just create a lot of avenues, and not just saying mental health, men, that, because that's all very cliche, but there needs to be deliberate investment in mental health. You have a lot of women conferences, and I have no bias towards that, but we also need to transfer that same level of interest to men's health, because we're the providers. Men go through a lot.
I know, right? You guys, okay. You know we're the podcast is planning a day retreat for men on November 23. Yeah, and yes, a whole day retreat for men. We're going to talk about that after this conversation. And we started promoting this in August. Yeah, and in the last 2 months, the responses has been is a lie, or why you're a woman, why are you championing men, and the question for me again, I might get pushbacks for this, but it's fine. For me, I personally believe that if we have a whole man, a man who has tools on how to deal with themselves, and the questions he has, and he has a safe space, then the family, the woman wouldn't need to fight so much. But like I said, when a man has been raised to not be, and a woman is constantly raised to be, how do you then expect him to grow to become a man? A girl is raised to be a wife, in quotes. A girl is raised to understand how to nurture. A man isn't. A boy child falls down and the parents they look away like, oh, already, A girl child falls down and then everybody rushes at the girl. So we are conditioned. We're conditioned to think that, yes, we're conditioned to think that men don't do this. Men can't do this. I was having a conversation very recently with a friend about miscarriages, and they were talking about how it's only the woman. I said, no, you can't tell me it's only the woman who feels the pain. My father, I am sure did not recover from the 9 miscarriages his wife had, which is my mother. And he did not know how to deal. He honestly didn't know how to deal. So he had this burst of anger and then this burst of extreme empathy and love. So one moment you see him around her, he's all lovey-dovey, that the next moment you wouldn't believe it's the same person who just finished hugging her. So I know for a fact, and I have only brothers. I'm an only girl. I have only brothers. I have a son. And I know that if we empower, and that's if we empower a man to understand how to adequately label and channel his emotions and feelings, would have a better society. We would have a better society, whether it's chauvinism, whether it's patriarchy, whatever we want to call it. I don't engage in all those gender drama, but whatever it is that we want to call it. But I believe, this is a personal belief, and I've seen it with my son, I've seen it with my brothers, and I've seen it with my husband too, that if you allow a man a space where he's psychologically safe to express, he's fine, really. So this is me to the question, Seun. I don't know why I'm calling you Seun, but I know your name is Seun Moses, but I prefer Seun. Don't mind me. I'm very Pan-African like that. So how do you think we can navigate this pressure on men?
Yeah.
How do you think we can navigate it?
So I think it begins with conversations. Like, it begins with conversations. bringing this, making it feel that you do not have to okay um you could just really allow me to digress a bit.
Please go ahead.
Because
Yeah.
you mentioned something about marriage. No, like when we look at marriages, like marriage is between two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, women were conditioned to always care, always be outspoken, which is great. And you're raising a man differently, and you expect there should be balance, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that often doesn't happen because you've conditioned a man be to be unexpressive of his emotions, and once the wife begins to be overly expressive and the man communicate, because men and women communicate differently. Yeah, I don't know if you've read that book, Women Are From
I never
Venus.
read it. Yeah, I did. I never read. Like I said, I just don't align with this gender debate.
Mhm.
I don't align.
Yeah.
So forgive me. But go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So what the book was trying to say is that women, like how women express, like when women are overwhelmed, they speak through their feelings, and that's why you see most women, like when they talk, it's you see a lot of presence of how my feelings, emotions, da, 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 da. But men are a bit more logical, like, okay, but you said this on XYZ. But when no, 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 no. So when you have that mismatch of logic and emotions, like they're bound to be friction. But it's until we understand how to communicate in our languages, in our own understanding, that's really what creates that wholeness. So now, to answer your question, I don't think a lot of men are aware about themselves. So I think it begins also with self-awareness. Who am I as a man? What is your identity? Like, what
Hello?
is your purpose?
Okay.
Now,
What's your purpose?
a lot of men do not really know. Yeah, a lot of men do not know what does it mean to be a man. I think if boys are raised to answer those questions from a young age, because from age 5, 6, we're telling girls, oh, close your legs. Oh, if you don't know how to cook, you're not marry a good man. Da, 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 da. I mean, we already very conditioned our marriage, which is great at a very, very young age. But men, we often ignore men. Okay, like we're permissible, like we do things. Okay, yeah, don't worry, he's a man, he's a man, he's a man, he's a man. But so we end up collecting junks from different places, from social media, from family X, from family Y, and that's why there's chaos in our lives, because there is no deliberate intentionality in our life. So I believe self-awareness is key. Knowing, really understanding what being a man is like, and also because a lot of men don't have role models, so it is very, very difficult.
Hello, Sean. You said because a lot of men don't have role models. Is that what you said?
To be what you did not see. So because can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. You said because a lot of men don't have role models. Is that what you said?
Yes, while growing up. So
okay,
you really have role models right growing up. So some came from families that were unstable. Some, like personally, I grew up from a foster home, so I did not really see that father figure. I had to learn most of my roles from books, and mostly from books. So when you don't have that role model, like I said, you can.
I lost you there for a bit. You can do what? I lost you there for a bit. Yeah.
I you cannot be what you can't see.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like there's that power of image. Like there's that power of image. You cannot be what you can't see. If you find a plane and you don't have a map, you likely go anywhere. So, and that's why there is pilots do use maps to go from Lagos to Abuja. Da, 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 da. So for men, if 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 we do not create those systems, those structures for them to be and also deliberately uproot that wrong ideology that they don't have to be expressive, don't have to cry, don't have to do that, because they end up collecting these wrong ideologies and express it in very lethal means. So I believe that if parents, if care leaders, if teachers, if even the society at large can be very much intentional, the same way we're intentional in the girl child, I believe we'll have a balanced society, because you cannot really end up pouring into somebody, pouring into girls, and leaving boys empty. They'll
what? Hello, show.
So when you see that there's a void, we often fill it with maybe drug abuse and that. So self-awareness is actually what I would say. Like, to begin with, any form of personal development, really understanding yourself, your self-identity. Okay.
All right, Shell. So the question I was asking was that we're talking about stigma. So what do you think are some practical ways men can start creating a support system, even if it's a small way, small things they could do? Yeah.
Great. So there's a very big advantage in having a routine. So some people, they might necessarily benefit from therapy per se. Well, like therapy is just talking to someone who has been trained to really listen to you. So I would say that really having a very strong support system, like family, friends, but more importantly, also like having a purpose. Because if you have a purpose that really keeps you awake at night, then it really helps you. Okay, yeah, you matter, and without you, like, something cannot happen. Like, you get. So I would say that I think men should have very, very, very much intentional support systems, but those support systems, because they'll be mostly men, so so like I said initially, there just needs to be that unpacking of the stigma surrounding mental health. That it's okay to be depressed, it's okay to be sad, and the best way to just manage it is to talk about it, is to be open that, okay, alpha or more, like I'm going through XYZ. And because they are men, they are able to relate more appropriately than the other gender. So I think beginning those small talks, all those small conversations, that, okay, being vulnerable around your men, like around you guys. Recently, I think I've been doing that a lot, and that just brings a lot of calm, that, okay, I'm not the only one going through this. So like having yes, that I'm only going through this, and we don't go to go on Twitter and go and trauma, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
When you don't have a good support system, you just tweet and go and trauma dump, and so.
Okay, so let's look forward now. Okay, I think I'll start with BlueroomCare. What do you envision for the future of BlueroomCare and its impact on mental health awareness and support in Nigeria?
The overarching vision of BlueroomCare is to improve 1 billion lives by 2030.
Mm,
And if you ask me why 1 billion, 1 in 4 people would suffer from mental health conditions. So that amounts to billion. And this is Africa next 1 billion. If, if you look at the demography, we are a very young population,
yes, we are.
right? I think very young population. So it means that, and we're more prone to having these mental health challenges. So I would say that really, really having that ability or capability in improving a billion lives, and not just through therapy, but also
Mm,
through self-guided tools like journaling. We have
mm.
other tools aside from psychotherapy. We have psychoeducation. We have um, guided classes. We have resources that can really help someone manage their mental health. So as little as journaling every day, reflection, meditation can also help you prioritize your mental health on a day-to-day basis.
I actually feel seen. Trust me, I feel totally seen because, when we're planning this a fight for life that I was talking about earlier, the conference for men,
Mhm.
we're putting together tools for journaling, guided meditation, and then of course, some tools to play, some tools to bond. We're also creating a psychological safe space for men to have conversations with themselves, and I can't wait for it. I sincerely can't wait for it. The registration has been awesome. I wouldn't even lie, because when we started back in August to promote this, I was like, okay, are men going to will they be willing, especially since it's being championed by a lady? But I'm surprised at the response. I would not even lie. I'm surprised that the response is interesting. So,
Mhm.
if you had one message to a man struggling with the anxiety, which is what the economic situation is, making prevalent now, if you
Mhm.
had one message
Mhm.
for that man that's listening right now and feeling isolated, what would you be saying to him?
Build social connections.
Mm,
Social connections. We're all social beings. So it's important to have that good social support group, whether it's your family, friends. Just look for people who are positive and have that open mind and are also very supportive to your mental health. So the Bible says that God did not create us to be alone, right? And when
yeah.
you isolate yourself, you, in fact, that's really how mental health illness starts. You begin to, it's in phases. So there is this early signs, you ignore them, maybe it's burnout, depression, you ignore them, and it begins to build. As it builds up, the next thing is to isolate yourself. Oh, let me just stop reaching out to people. And this also cue to other men. When someone who is always active stops saying anything, it's a cute check on it's a cute checkup on them. So isolating yourself, and when we do that, you just have a lot of negativity, like negative thought. Oh, I'm not enough. Uh, I think there's somewhere better that I could be. So having that social connection that is strong and intentional. And I would say this, because of social media, we are no more connecting to each other. What we're now performing. So
Mm,
you see a lot of people on social, we are all sharing our wins, which is great. I mean, it is wonderful that we are being positive, but that's just probably like 10% of our lives. Like we have like we have like a lot of people don't like this showing the backstory. Okay, how did I get here? Um, as I was driving today, a very rough delivery man hit my bumper. Do you understand? So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, being able being able to have that realization that there is life outside of I mean, it's important you have online friends, but no, you need to have real life conversations, real life hangouts. Go out with your friends, go out with your family, spend time, and not necessarily just pouring into online, everything's online meetings are online, you checking up with your friends are online. I mean, like that is a recipe for depression. If everything you're
Yeah.
doing is only virtual, it's a
Mm.
recipe.
I agree. It's a recipe for depression. So I'm going to ask you, so maybe you might not think it's personal, but I have this question here that I think I want to know the answer to. So if you could describe your mental health journey as a movie, what would the title be?
Hey. Okay, so I don't watch movies a lot. So
Okay.
no, I don't watch movies a lot, but let me see a movie. Okay. Hmm. So maybe maybe I'll use a song. So
Okay.
I don't know um, if you know this like this song that this guy released in this is the real song. Is he Obi Onogo minus something like that, because
Okay.
I
I
always
don't know
bounce
it,
back
but
no matter how.
hey,
Stand
okay.
strong, exactly.
Stand
Yeah,
strong.
stand strong.
Okay.
Honestly, like
Mm.
I've been through a lot of things, and I'm just really grateful that I have that resilience to always bounce back better. So
Okay, so I'll
yeah,
share one, and I want to ask you this question, but I'll share mine first. And the question is,
okay.
what's one book or a podcast or a song that has had a big impact on your mental well-being? For me, it's a book, and that book is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the four
Hmm.
agreements are: be impeccable with your words, do not take anything personally, do not make assumptions, always do your best. And that has
Mhm.
been my personal pledge, and it has helped me shape, it helped me shape the way I think, the way I connect with myself, and indeed the way I connect with other people. I understand that book made me understand that no matter how a person is upset about what it is that I said,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it landed wrongly. It landed wrongly because it probably,
Yeah.
it probably tweaked a wound that
Mhm.
they're trying to hide. And it has just helped me manage my expectations with people. It's helped me manage my expectations with myself also. So you go. What's one book, a podcast, or a song? You talked about your song. So a book
Yeah.
that has impacted
To
you.
be Light to Carry Michelle Obama. So I read that book
Ah,
twice, and I
so you said The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama, yeah?
Light to Carry by Michelle Obama. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great
Yes.
book.
Yes.
That's a great book. That's a great
Yes.
book.
So it's a great book.
It's a great book.
I like I read it and I had to recommend it to my partner, and she's really enjoying it because, like, trying to realize that friendship is not being discussed enough, especially especially this especially when we have an epidemic of loneliness. So I think that would be a book that I would recommend to everybody that is trying to, because if like if you actually look at the bigger picture, mental health is really how we deal with the stresses of
Life. Yes.
day-to-day challenges. And how can we do that? Is by having good social systems, right? So I think Michelle Obama did a very great job in defining friends. Because try to remember is that we all have very high expectations of our friend, very high,
Mm.
but which can be dangerous. You don't have such expectations for normal people, and when you have expectations that they have to be perfect, they cannot be flawed. I think that's what really leads to like leads to say isolation, right? So you just an example. So I currently have a friend. I mean, for over 10 years, and we had a very and we didn't for over 6 months. But just a little misunderstanding, and we didn't for over 6 months. So if we if because I those that are closest to you even hurts most. But having that tolerance that okay, having that clear expectation that yes, this person will disappoint me, but okay, but I still choose them regardless. There is a future in this friendship and there is growth. So you don't expect someone to be all perfect and nothing.
Thank you for speaking to the gift of friendship. So, as we round this off, um, if you had something to say to a man that was listening, that they should take away from this conversation, what would it be? And what if you had a magic wand to change one aspect of how society approaches mental health care? What would you change?
Men, the key takeaway is that vulnerability is strength, and prioritizing your mental health, seeking help when needed, and breaking the silence around struggles leads to a healthier and more fulfilled life. And if I could change one thing, I think it would be to normalize proactive mental health care. Treat mental health care just like physical health, something to be regularly cared of so that we can prevent crisis and also build stronger communities.
Thank you so much, Seun, for this words, and thank you for taking time out to be on Mindfully with Tumishi this week. Remember that you can access Blue Room Care. Okay, just follow them on Instagram or just check the show link and you can access Blue Room Care, which is a teletherapy service for mental health. And as we round this off, I need to say a big thank you to Anita of Inkim Creatives for connecting Mindfully with Sumishi with Blue Room Care. Until next time, as we continue our conversations around men's mental health in preparation for a fight for life, love yourself, love your neighbor, love your country. Above all of this, love God. He is the essence of your being.